The Beggars Blessing, retold by Mark Hamby. The Beggars Blessing. Long ago, in a quiet English village, the merry tune of the woodcarver brightened each morning as he opened his shop. The carver was a skillful worker who turned rough wood into beautiful furniture, dolls, and toys. He was delighted when children visited his shop, especially as they marveled at his new creations. There was one child of whom the carver was particularly fond. Her name was Keturah. Once a week, Keturah made her way to the woodcarver's shop and spent her time gazing at the wonderful carvings, especially the doll in the velvet green dress. The doll was so lovely, with her glassy blue eyes, soft silky hair, and delicate face. Keturah was determined that someday the doll would be hers. Keturah worked hard, and month after month she saved her shillings. Finally, the long-awaited day came. She placed her shillings in her leather pouch and tightly tied the strings. Never had there been a happier child. Filled with anticipation, Keturah hastily made her way to the village. As she merrily skipped along the path, Keturah's heart leaped with joy as she caught a glimpse of the woodcarver's shop. Excitedly, yet with humble dignity, she entered the woodcarver's shop, pointed to the doll of her desire, handed the woodcarver his due, and joyfully received her long-awaited treasure. Now, with the precious doll in her arms, the little lady bade the woodcarver good afternoon, and she began her stroll back home. As Keturah stepped onto the cobblestone street, a poor, miserable-looking object of a man met her eye. He was standing but a few steps away and seemed as though he were going to speak to her. Attracted, doubtless, by the innocent kindliness of her expression and the tenderness of her blue eyes, his lips moved, but no sound came from them. He stood aside to let her pass, with a mute, agonized appeal in his sunken cheeks and his quivering chin. Did you wish to speak with me?" asked the little lady, staying her steps. Encouraged by her winsome voice, the poor man said in trembling accents, "I'm very hungry. I would not ask for help if I were not ready to sink with hunger," he pleaded with famined eyes and outstretched arms. "I'm sorry. I have no money, nor food, or I would surely help thee." His lips whispered forth a humble, "Thank you, my lady," as he shuffled on his way, hunger impersonate. "Stay!" cried the little owner of the new doll. There was a quiver in her childish voice and moisture in her blue eyes as she softly spoke. "Please wait." The beggar turned slowly and rested his weary body as he beheld Keturah fondly gazing upon her precious doll. Within moments, Keturah knew what she had to do. With a determined gait, she walked back into the woodcarver's shop. "Please, sir, may I exchange my doll for the shillings that I paid for her?" "Are you not satisfied with your doll, my child?" "Oh, yes, sir, but there is someone who needs these shillings more than I need this lovely doll." Carrying her coin-filled pouch, Keturah hurried out of the shop, smiled, and placed the whole of her savings into the hands of the starving man. He was like one thunderstruck. Never before had such bounty rained upon him in such profusion. The object of her mercy murmured in a low tone, though loud enough to reach her ear, "If the Almighty made you a queen, it would not be more than your goodness deserves." As the little girl embraced the beggar with a compassionate gesture of affection, he whispered, "Indeed, my child, may the Almighty God someday make you a queen." Several years later, Keturah became England's youngest girl ever to be crowned. Her name? Queen Victoria. In Matthew 25:40 it says, "And so it is as Jesus said, when you have done it to the least of these, brethren, you have done it unto me." For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me. The Beggars Blessing.